Even a roach knows what a roach is. Even a gnat knows what a gnat is. Even an ant knows what an ant is. Even a grain of dirt knows what the dirt is. The only thing in the entire universe, the omniverse, that don't know what it is the black man and the black woman mainly on earth. And to even go further than that, in the hills of North America. So because you have gone solo, there's nothing in the universe that you haven't traveled, because we went to the bottom. So you're the only one that is actually qualified to take the supreme head. You see what I'm saying? To take the supreme head. So we had to go that low. So it's just like a bouncing ball. If you take a ball and you bounce it a little bit of force, when it comes up, it might go this high. But if you bounce it with the most supreme force of gravity, with the low vibratory rate, it'll go the highest when it bounces back up, based on the force. So it's bounced like that when it comes to involution and evolution.
When we talk about the black dot, and I am going to go back and segue back into the temple back. When we talk about the black dot, if you would explain, because maybe some of our listeners do not understand in depth what we're talking about with the black dot, how it is related to the pineal gland, and how that is related to black people and white people, and why you say that white people do not have the black dot or the gate, the star gate, why they cannot ascend to a higher level. And then, if you will, I want you to segue that into the temple in which it is laid out like a man. So we actually see that the Egyptians understood these details, and they even build these temples relate to teach specifically from the design of the temple itself.
Okay. All right. First of all, we understand that if you are in the image of God and it is not written in your law to be of God, then what the supreme level of the cosmos that you call, that is the black substance that make up the stars and make up all the other stuff, which is the supreme essence of what God is, because in the core of every star is the black substance. That make those stars up is the black substance. So what you see out there, the white boy call it dark matter in science. What you see out there with blackness is actually something. And it is the essence of God. It's called the primal material, called the great works. But if you are in the image of God, you also have the black substance in you. And because you are black, that is an indication that you do have the black substance. Because Beth means house. Ham comes from Cam, that means black. Bethlehem means the black house. And the sun in Bethlehem, which you call the Christ, is also the black house that you got. You got a sun inside of you, which is also called a star in Bethlehem. The physical star in Bethlehem was the star Sirius that you saw. The other star in the Bethlehem that you see right here, because this is the house, was the star Sirius that's in you, which is also the sun in black that you call in Bethlehem that you call the black dot. So it is the gateway, and it is the Son of God that is in you. It is the Son of God that is in the Son of God, because we are the heirs of God. But there's something on the inside of you that not only are you on the physical level, but there's a link that is the difference with you from being only on the physical level, is there's a doorway in you that not only makes you on the physical, but it links you to the cosmos as well. White people don't have this black dot, so therefore they're only on the physical level.
Why don't they have it?
Why don't they have it is because in our form of degeneration, it was inevitable that we could not take ourselves down that low, because God can only be in the nature of God. So therefore, based on the vibratory rate, some of us invented this Yakub, that I got the historical researchers of Yakub. Some of us invented a European based on gene splicing. But anytime you got the original prototype that comes through nature and spiritual attainment of the cosmos, and then you go in and make another prototype from that, I don't give a damn how well you make it, it's not going to be as good as the original. It's just like that oil. You can take perfumes and make perfumes all day, but it's never going to be as original as the oil that the perfumes are made from. That's the concentrated, potent stuff. Well, in the case of Europeans, we now have actual evidence that I'm going to get into with a particular temple of Abydos that has the documents of the European being created. And we'll give the historical documents on that for the people that don't believe. Based on that, what you have is this particular European is a created person that we created. And as a result, he does not have the full manifestation of the essence of what we are. So even in our creation, even though we can create a person that can function on the physical level, because we created him on the physical level, it doesn't necessarily mean he can function on the spiritual level. So as a result, what you have is you have a person that is conducive to the physical level, and based on a certain amount of lower energies, because the physical level is on such a low vibratory rate, he can be conducive to the physical level and all aspects of the physical, and all, which is the lowest level. But he cannot be conducive at the highest level because he was never created from the highest regions. But we all were. And our sperm and our stuff is created from the highest region. Whereas him, because he's created on a lower level, his sperm and the actual spiritual energy, or the energy that's coming to make him in his essence, which is energy on the inside, comes from lower astral planes. Where our origin comes from the highest astral plane, they call the Jivashanic plane, or they call the melanin realm. So the reason why they don't have melanin is because we were created out of melanin, and they were created out of gene splicing in the physical world. And part of that, they gene spliced, they grafted not only genes from us, but they grafted genes from an ape. But even the ape is more spiritual because the ape is in its rightful habitat, and it does things nature-wise. But the European is grafted, and this is why it looks like an ape with the same hair and all this type of stuff, but it's something of only lower material matter, which I'll go into that particular point. So therefore, the supreme part that makes us God, which was created in heaven, is the black dot, which is that link, that doorway. Because it was only created on the physical realm, it does not have the black dot and cannot have the black dot. And now the difference between some white people and some white people are assassinated black people, they still have the black dot. And you got 80%. You have 15% of some white people that have the black dot. Well, those are not white people, those are black people that look white.
Now, when we talk about the black dot, we're actually talking about a pineal gland that's not calcified.
We talk about well, that's the physical element is a pineal gland that's not calcified. But the black dot is called the dark night of the soul, which means in actuality it is the soul. So when you talk about this particular, now that it is the soul. Now when you talk about this particular not having the black dot means in actuality you have lower astral energy that can be mistaken for a soul, but it's not the soul. The only reason why you don't understand that it's not a soul is because you were dealing with intellect, and you can teach a monkey how to do some things. You're dealing with that, well, a damn parrot can talk. You're dealing with an intellect because it has a brain cavity, it can function, but you don't know what the soul is of. But then again, we know that he could have a soul for the simple fact that any person that has a guilt deficiency. Bobby E. Wright told you that in Psychopathic Racist White People. And any person that is against nature itself, and anything he is killed and he's defied all the laws, created laws, that means that he couldn't have a soul. He has a guilt deficiency, and you got to realize this about this particular European also too. The European, France, and England had a war for 100 years. Now that means in actuality to have a war for 100 years, that means that war is the norm and peacetime is abnormal. So when we talk about peacetime, it's not talking about his nature. And even in his peacetime, he's never had peacetime. He just has a clever way of doing things where he don't have to have physical violence, but he has mental violence and social and political violence. You see? So if when he does have peacetime, you're thinking that he's being all right. No, he's just got a more advanced way to carry out his particular violent behavior, his destructive behavior. You see? So now, when we talk about that, and we'll get into this white man in a few minutes, Historical evidence proved that obviously this man doesn't have a soul. That's just based on history alone. But now we have the archaeological evidence, and because we're talking about the temples, based on the temples of Egypt, we have the archaeological evidence that he's a biological mutation from the original.